in the sprite choice. While we see a more natural Link over on Skipsy's side. Ooh, and while I'm blabbing away, we are off. Let's see what this wonderful seed has to offer us today. I'm gonna be looking up the stand. Oh wow, okay. We're starting off with boots, so this is a jet seed, right? That's a quick seed, really quick. Gonna be done in like half an hour or something. Alright, we're heading down to the uncle. Let's see what kind of randomized weapon we're getting today. Oh boy, it's bombs. Alright, I guess the seed had to make up for those boots on the first chest somehow, so we're getting a wonderful bomb escape. And even more bombs. The bombs don't stop. The one good thing is, well, I was going to say the one good thing is they don't have to worry about a bomb drop for the back of escape, but since they found the boots in the very first chest, they wouldn't have to worry about that bomb drop anyways. What they do have to worry about now is their bomb count, though. Since if the boots are your first item, your bomb count will usually be a little bit higher, as it normally is. Just because you get more opportunities to bang your head against a wall or a door frame or a pot or a guard. Alright, both of our guys here doing a pretty good job with the first room, grabbing a big 20 out of that first chest. Not really great progression so far, but you know, we've only just started. Ooh, and who42baker here grabbing another big 20, so he's already 41 rupees. I mean, you know, this early in the seed and this early on in the scale, not really a huge deal, but you probably want to save up around, well, I'd say at least 100 for the bottle vendor in Kakariko once you're done with escape here. So the more you can work towards that from the get-go without having to sacrifice potential item locations is very good. Oh, and our first glove here with a very nice setup from both of our guys with that bomb escape. It looks like these guys are not doing too awful with their bomb escape so far, especially who42baker here. One bomb ahead currently in the count. Alright, both of these guys going for the pod strats, which, you know... Oh, well, I say that, but who42baker decides to toss a pot, and then a bomb, and then another pot. Both of them sinking their key grabs almost, and look what they get out of that chest. I guess this seed really wants these guys to have some bombs. Alright, off we go. As we can see, Zelda has no issues keeping up with the running Link. No issues whatsoever. Just runs right along. Tails behind a little bit, but eventually manages to catch up. So, as we were heading into the sewer parts of the escape, to the back in the dark with our free light cones, because I don't know why. I guess Zelda's beauty shines so radiantly that it lights up our sewers. But as we make our way in there, Skipsy a second ahead, I would say, maybe two. We were looking at a bomb count of 6 for both of these guys. who42baker still those 21 rupees ahead that he was earlier. Other than that, we are waiting with bated breath what the last chest and the 3 chests in the back of the escape will have for us. There's the key we need to even get any further. Here comes probably one of the bigger tests of a bomb escape, or soon to be. Managing to hit that key rat with a bomb. Most of the people will probably go for suicide strats here, aka pick up the bomb and just walk into the key rat. Oh, very nicely done by Skipsy here. who42baker misses his first bomb, but looks fine on the second one. Yep, both of them grabbing their keys. Very nicely done. And here goes the 3 chests in the back of escape. Oh, it's a bow, and a piece of heart, and a red rupee. Okay, so this immediately gives these guys the opportunity to maybe go into Eastern. I mean, they obviously don't have the lamp, and it'd be an interesting choice to go from Sanctuary directly to Eastern Palace without even checking out Kakariko and the Lost Woods and the usual standard route. It's possible. Here we go, both our guys finishing up escape at around 6:10-ish. who42baker counted items. He doesn't pick up the map, unlike Skipsy, who just wants to make sure everything's fine. We've got a green pendant in Tower of Hera and crystal number 5 in Eastern Palace. I believe Desert was also a crystal, so this is an interesting layout. Skipsy grabs his 50 bucks from the Bonk Rocks, which who42baker skipped out on, and, well, just remembered it. Goes right back, and that means, nope, never mind me. Remembered the Lumberjacks, it looks like, instead of the Bonk Rocks. A couple of arrows from the tree pull on Skipsy's side, same for who42baker, of course. And the Hoarder Crabs dropping single rupees. Oh no, Baker accidentally killing that Hoarder Crab with the bush he threw. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Oh, that looked like a medallion, I think Bombos. Yep, that's a Bombos medallion on the Lumberjack ledge. So, depending on where our crystals are in the Dark World and which medallion, obviously, we will need, this could be pretty crazy. This could be like a super late required AGA 1 seed with that Bombos up there. You know, they could potentially finish up a whole lot of things without ever needing that medallion or killing AGA 1. Oh yeah, of course. As our wonderful tracker here is pointing out, it might also be our only access to the Ice Palace. If we can't find the fire out somewhere else, the Bombos medallion, the only thing that will melt some of those freeze ores and the ice shell off of Cold Stare. So yeah, it could turn out to be quite trolly. It could turn out to be not that bad. AGA 1 required seeds aren't too uncommon. Ooh, there's a first sword. The Cane of Burna as well, so our first invincibility item, and our first, well, never mind, our second step to the Dark World access, which is the Moon Pearl. So, yeah, this is... Oh, the cops are coming to take me away. Too much rando for me. Tell my mom I love her. Alright, sorry about that. We are going down into the well on Skipsy's side here. Let's see what's hidden behind all those walls. Just an arrow upgrade. At least both of our guys are well in the range of... Ooh, a hammer. Hello, Dark World access. So, not even 10 minutes in, and we're heading to the Dark World? Question mark. There's some map check from Skipsy. Also making sure that he knows where all the crystals are in the Light World. Oh, that's a really bad deal from the bottle vendor for both of our guys. Oh hey, there's a blue male, so even more incentive to go to the Dark World. It won't be as scary anymore now. There's the blue male for Baker, and now Skipsy checking the back of Tavern, just a piece of heart. Gets a nice extra heart out of it though, so, you know, 6 hearts and blue male, not awful. See what we can get from the library, which we can immediately... Well, nobody wants those 20 bucks. Another heart piece here on the race game. Oh, looks like who42baker actually opting to get that. That's, I find that quite an interesting choice. Not that I blame him. Getting more hearts, never a bad idea. Looks like Skipsy is not taking the bait for the early Dark World access. Grabs a fairy in a bottle for his South Shore check here at the dam. So that's our first bottle, immediately making Sick Kid available. You know, who42baker apparently noticing that he only has 1 bomb left. I think that might be where he's going. Nope. He is indeed immediately going to the Dark World. That is... Wow. Okay, that's an interesting choice. I like this. That's pretty, you know, pretty brave, I'd say. But yeah, it looks like he is definitely saying, alright, this seat gave me Dark World access super quickly. I'm going there right away. So here we go. We're gonna see what the Dark World has to offer for us on who42baker's side, while Skipsy is making his way through the mini Moldorm cave. Alright, crystal number 6, another red crystal at Swamp, the red pendant at Ice, the blue pendant at Palace of Darkness. We find the powder in the mini Moldorm cave. And the silver arrows, so bow and silver arrows in not even 13 minutes. This will make so many bosses so much easier. I think Skipsy made a good play here. I think he'll be a little bit better prepared for the Dark World. But I have full faith in who42baker's abilities. He's currently checking out Skullwoods, looking to see what he can find in those chests that he can access for now without the fire rod. So far, unfortunately, nothing, but at least he has a key so he doesn't have to go through the trap room. You see also that Ice Rod Cave only has a piece of heart. And another piece of heart as the first item in Skullwoods here. Alright, and Skipsy also going to the Dark World, but decides, hey, I want to check out the Hype Cave first. Maybe make their way up to the Pyramid. Maybe even into Pod. I mean, Pod is a pendant, but we have both the hammer and the bow already. And there's 5 potential items in there. Could be worth a look. Well, let's see what Hype Cave has for us first. Ooh, hello, that's a flute. Unfortunately, Skipsy is out of bombs, so that flute is all they're getting from that Hype Cave. Also, thankfully, there is a bomb shop right above, and Skipsy is... Oh, he's going to the other bomb shop, I think. And there's the second item in Skullwoods, which is a red boomerang and a death ward to follow. Skipsy using their money wisely, buying a little shield. Can't hurt, you know, can't afford it, why not? Especially if you're not wearing clothes to begin with. Shield at least, you know, helps you cover your shame a little bit. And back to the rest of Hype Cave we go. Let's see if that flute was a premonition of things to come, or if you're going to be disappointed. 20 bucks. The hook shot. Another 20 bucks. And another 20 bucks. Alright, you know, 3 big reds. I'm not a huge fan, but the hook shot and flute, I call that hype. Oh, and there's an 8 bomb drop for who42baker. He is going right back for that. What happens to the shield upgrade if you buy a shield is that your shield gets overwritten. You can never downgrade, but you can never skip an upgrade. So the next shield that Skipsy will find will also be a fighter shield. And if you, as Epipoliticus in chat is pointing out, if you're buying a fire shield at a shop somewhere, and you pick up a fighter, and you pick up something else, it will be overwritten. Alright, we see both of our guys here approaching Village of Outcasts from 2 different directions. Unfortunately for Skipsy, he is missing 18 rupees and the Titansmiths to get into Village of Outcasts. I mean, he was missing the 18 rupees for the digging game and the Titansmiths to get into Village of Outcasts. Might be getting our first dip in a Thieves Town here for who42baker. Yep, looks like it. Off we go in the Thieves Town. Keep in mind, the silver arrows, as well as the powder, were in, I believe, the mini Moldorm cave. So that's something that is still on the table for who42baker while Skipsy is activating their flute here. Man, hookshot, boots, and flute before 20 minutes couldn't be, at least the overworld traversal couldn't be any faster than this. You've got all the ways to make yourself go fast. We're also getting our first sick kit check here from Skipsy. And yet another piece of heart while who42baker grabs a big red and a single rupee out of Thieves Town. Really not all that great so far. I think we're already at I want to say 3 items at least. You found a big key, a red rupee, a green rupee, and something else. More rupees. Man. Alright, looks like Skipsy is hot on the heels of who42baker here, heading right into the Village of Outcasts Dark World portal. Deciding not to check out Skullwoods with fighter sword and no fire rod, you know. I can't blame him. Skullwoods used to always have good stuff in version 28. I think it's a little bit less prominent in version 29, which is why I feel like a lot of people are now opting to not immediately check Skullwoods after they make their first trip into the Dark World. I gotta say though, now looking at Skipsy's menu, that's a pretty terrible menu. And navigating around in that menu is it's quite a challenge. Hopefully these guys will be finding more items very soon, so that their menuing can be a little less annoying. Alright, and we grab another piece of heart for who42baker out of Thieves Town. I think that was all the items in here. A green, a red rupee, a piece of heart, and some more rupees, I believe. And Skipsy immediately also dipping into Thieves Town here. Oh, there's one item left, okay. Alright, there was a compass in that chest. See, Skipsy just picked it up. who42baker here, stocking up on hearts as much as he can. Alright, so unless the big chest is basically locking itself. Oh boy. Okay. Please don't die here, who42baker. You made it so far. Yep. Going carefully and with spins very nicely. Grabs another heart. Okay. Well done. Grabs a map here. So the big chest is indeed locking itself by having a small key in it. So that means our last item will be unblind. Nope. Don't have a key for that. And a little thing that I just noticed or just realized is that Skipsy might have a little bit of an easier time here just by virtue of having that powder already. There's a couple of anti-fairies floating around here in Thieves Town that make it very easy to refill your health. While who42baker really had to kind of struggle with it a bit. Let's hope this blind fight goes according to plan. Looking good so far. Oh, I think you missed one there. Oh boy. Okay, yep. Get out that little cane of burn on, make it a little more laggy, but beats dying. And there we go, gets blind down. And gets a bomb upgrade for his trouble, so no real progression in Thieves Town at all. At least we get our first crystal at 22 minutes in, and it's a Dark World crystal as well, so we're doing pretty well on that front. Alright, now who42baker will actually be able to show us how many digs we need today and what we actually get from that digging game. Will most likely make his way over towards Stumpy and then to Hype Cave to pick up his flute and his hookshot, so we should be on, well, almost item parity very soon. Okay, and there we go, a heart container after 5 digs. Not awful. I'll always take an extra heart. Alright, now Skipsy gonna show us his blind killing skills. Looking pretty swell so far as well. And Stumpy giving us another full heart container, so we're stocking up on hearts here. And yeah, Skipsy gets that blind down just perfectly. Grabs their bomb upgrade, and off we go with that first crystal, just about a minute or so behind who42baker, who's now making his way over to Hype Cave. Gonna be very happy about what he finds in there. There's that flute, and here comes a red rupee, and a hookshot, and a red rupee, and another red rupee just for good mushing. Now, keep in mind, who42baker still has not been to the South Shore in the Light World, which, as we know, isn't too awful, but it does have the silver arrows. And silver arrows really do help quite a bit with some of the bosses. Not all of them, but some bosses are especially trivialized once you get silver arrows. Looks like who42baker decides to continue his rounds here through the Dark World. Gonna go for a pyramid check while Skipsy is heading up the Dark Death Mountain with the flute, now in logic. Gonna go and rescue the old man. It's not too terrible of a dark room, and you get that extra save and quick climb that's very nice. And Baker finding out that there's only another big 20 on the pyramid, so we're skipping that. And is, by the looks of it, making his way up to Quakefish. Yep, looks like who42baker is going all the way while Skipsy spins beads up to Death Mountain and sees the Master Sword on Spectacle Rock. So there's our second sword. Only 10 arrows in there. Can't grab that until we find our mirror. Thankfully, Skipsy managed to grab that hookshot early on and is now making their way to the right side of, or the east side, I should say, of Death Mountain. While who42baker grabs yet another full heart container from Quakefish. I think he's gotten quite a few full heart containers here in the last couple of checks. Let's see what Paradox Cave has for us. It's the red mail. Alright, so defense-wise, we're doing pretty well. We've got Cane of Burna. We've got the powder, at least Skipsy has the powder. We've got red mail. Now, we already know where the Master Sword is, but we could use some more attack upgrades, I would say. We do have the silver arrows, can't complain about those. Ooh, there's our first medallion, that's Ether. And the blue boomerang and the ice rod. Alright, Paradox Cave definitely worth it today. Skipsy here setting up the bomb jump very nicely, should be fine. Yep, beautiful. Now who42baker activating his flute while Skipsy. Uh-oh, Skipsy, are you... Oh, okay, you're just starting from the left. That's fine. Skipsy gonna go over right to Hera. It's also a crystal dungeon. The downside is we don't have a fire source, so we have to hope that there's no big key in the basement. And if there is no big key in the basement, we also then have to hope that there's no item in the basement. Otherwise, we'll have to leave that one behind. Oh boy, there's a shovel down here. That's an interesting start to this Tower of Hera. Oh, and who42 is making his way over to Eastern by the looks of it. Oh, and Skipsy finds out Hera is fire-locked indeed. At least grabs that shovel might lead to something super crazy. We will find out soon, I'm assuming. What's the old man got for us today? A whole lot of money and our second medallion. So we now officially know where all three of our medallions are. The only question left to answer is, are we gonna have to grab that bombos from the lumberjack ledge? Or is Ether and Quake enough to get us into both Turtle Rock and Mire? Alright, Skipsy's showing us that digging spot immediately. That's all we could grab out of Tower of Hera. And it is... Oh my god, it's the Titansmiths. Okay, well, I guess that's good. What the... That is so crazy. Okay, well, now we have the Titansmiths, and with the flute already in hand, we can definitely check out what we need for Mire, and also the Mire Shed. It looks like Skipsy says, nope, I'm finishing up here my light world here first before doing any more. Gonna head over right to Eastern as well, just a few short steps behind who42 here. Let's see what these guys can find and grab out of this palace. In theory, they can complete it. They do have the bow. They don't necessarily need the lamp, though it is required by logic. And who42baker continues his streak of finding full heart containers. I think he's pretty tired of them by now. There's Skipsy grabbing Sahasrar's riches as well as his weird little Quake medallion. Well, so far Eastern not really super paying off. Alright, here we go into the first dark rooms of Eastern. As you can see, one of the easier sets of dark rooms here, at least in the front. Grabbing that key and making it through this little square room here, not too hard. Gonna lead us over to the vanilla big key chest. And that will hopefully have something amazing for us. There's that big key, so we're getting a big key, big chest check, of course. And as I said earlier, wouldn't be surprised if both of these guys decide, hey, we're not so bad. We can probably deal with that dark room back there. But let's see. There is a red rupee. And yep, looks like who42baker is ready to take on these Igors in the dark. Right, we're seeing that we're not seeing anything. Hearing some sword slashes. Uh-oh, who42baker having some trouble here killing that Igor. Looks, he did get the key, but he can't quite find the exit to the room, it looks like. Alright, he makes it sadly down to 1.5 hearts, so needs to be a little bit careful. Grabs an extra heart here, and I think there's a couple more hearts on the way for him. And Armos Knights themselves shouldn't really pose too much of a problem or a threat to his heart, so if you can make it to the boss fight, he should be fine. Oh boy, please be careful. Okay, there we go. Decides not to even grab that hard, who cares? This is going to be another instance where Skipsy's early silver arrows from that mini Moldorm cave that who42baker hasn't checked yet will save him at least a tiny bit of time, not only in the boss fight, but also on the Igors beforehand. Ooh, and Skipsy takes an unfortunate death in the dark room, but thankfully still has that fairy in a bottle that was also in a place that who42baker has not checked yet. Okay, looks like Skipsy successfully got the key. Now just gotta find that little pot to lift and then the key door, but looking good. Key is used, and there we are in the second floor. who42baker grabs his crystal and makes his way out of there. And is also the first pyramid crystal that we have. And I guess as soon as we find the mirror, we can get the second one in theory. But now, who42baker finally managing or deciding to check out the South Shore around here, grabbing his fairy in a bottle. Gonna be grabbing his silver arrows out of Mini Moldorm. And as we can see on Skipsy's side, 1 silver arrow per Armos Knight instead of 3 normal arrows makes everything a little bit quicker. Alright, let's see where Skipsy decides to go next. There are the silver arrows for who42baker that we were talking about, and that powder. I bet he would have liked to have that a little bit earlier. It could have been potentially helpful in Thieves Town or whatever, but eh. Speaking of powder, we see Skipsy now. Gonna check out what the Batman has for us, since we found the powder reasonably early on as well. Nope, just another big 20. And as who42baker will find out in a second, he is gonna be grabbing another heart piece here. And that is officially heart row number 2, aka heart number 11. Looks like he's setting up the water walk here. Spinning on the edge of that hole, but apparently he didn't quite get it or decided against it, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Nope, got it just fine, perfect. Off we go, dashing over the water. Gonna check out that Lake Hiley Island. It has a green rupee. And off to Zora we go. Alright, nothing great in the waterfall fairy while Skipsy decides to put their hammer to good more use, I guess. Checking those hammer peg. Ooh, half magic. That's awesome. I love finding half magic. You see only a red rupee on the Zora lich, so unless Zora, him or herself, has what we need, this is unfortunately not going to pay out too greatly for who42baker here. Ah, that is a bad return of investment. So bad that who42baker says, nope, I'm not even going to bother picking that up. Now Skipsy gonna do their 5 digs here for the heart container that they couldn't pay for earlier. Alright, and we're gonna go up and sequence break Hobo to see what he has to offer for us today. And Skipsy finally putting those mitts to good use, found them early on thanks to that shovel from Tower of Hera basement. And now we're gonna find out... Okay, Myra's Ether, so still no Aga required so far. Another bottle and some money back. Not a great return here in the Meyer shed, but at least we found out that we don't need bombos quite yet. Oh, this is interesting. Skipsy deciding, hey, I'm just gonna go check into Meyer right now. Might as well, I'm already here. I'm digging all this. Alright, now we're getting the Batman check from who42baker. He, as we know, he kind of needs to make his way up to Death Mountain. Grab that shovel out of Hera, grab those Titan's mitts, and that will open up another little bit more for him. You know, I gotta say, Meyer with Fighter Sword is not something I like to do, and I commend Skipsy for their bravery. Alright, and there we go. who42baker finally up on Death Mountain, gonna be rescuing the old man in the dark as well. Wait, is he... Did he leave that chest on purpose? Is there something that I don't know about? Is there some like routing logic that I'm unaware of? Where if this and this is in there... Oh, he didn't... Oh, okay, never mind. He didn't have the health to check that spike chest. Now I get it. I pay attention well. I'm very sorry, guys. Thanks for keeping me straight here. Oh, and Skipsy tried to pass by that terrible fire bar. Instead gets hit twice, and then again on the way back, right in the face. Alright, that is a red goo. And we're back to that chest that we couldn't open earlier. And it's a small key. That's all we can get from here, so the Mire Dip, not awful. Gets us a free red goo, and we know that the 2 items in there aren't too awesome, but yeah. Oh, and Skipsy getting so much bad luck with these cabbages, Jesus. There we go, finally makes it up that ladder. Death Mountain can be so awful. Alright, now who42baker gonna be picking up his shovel, which will hopefully very quickly lead to the Titansmith's Rim. He's also very quickly gonna find out that he's gonna have to come back here with a fire source in hand. There's the small key, and who42baker taking a quick second to think what to do. Save and quit? Nope. Got more stuff to check here. Ooh, and Skipsy picks up our 3rd sword for him. Currently the Master Sword. We know that another sword is up on Spectacle Rock. Still mirror locked. Nope, and Turtle Rock is Ether as well, so goodbye, Agawan. We will not miss you. Getting our first Hookshot Cave check here. That's a small shield, which he already bought earlier, so as we see, nothing changes. There's the flippers. So that's another step for a Swamp Axes. Alright, very nicely done here by who42baker, picking up his Titansmiths. Immediately gonna check the Mire area. Probably mainly wants to make sure that he doesn't have to do Aga, at least for the moment, for the access to the dungeons. But as you guys are pointing out, we could have a required bombos to finish Ice Palace. You never know. Alright, who42baker decides, hey, I'm also gonna dip mire immediately. I'm already here, I can open it. I have the boots and the hookshot to get across the gap. You know, might as well. While Skipsy decided to leave all of this here until they had the flippers. Anyhow, Fire Rod, as you guys are saying, could be hidden in Ice Palace. It could be behind Ice Armos or something crazy. Well, actually, never mind that. We probably need it for Terra Rock. And we're also getting a King's Tomb check here from Skipsy. See what the king was buried with today, or this time, I guess. Yeah, a little bit of love. I mean, if you have a heart piece, you shouldn't be dead, right? I guess a heart piece isn't a full heart, so technically it's not wrong. Yes, there is someone who would do Aga Wandar, a crazy person. Skipsy now finally getting their pyramid check-in. A little bit disappointing here with a big 20, especially since you don't want to mess up your wonderfully straight and even 300 rupee count. who42baker picks up his red goo and knows, okay, I can't go anywhere else in here, so time to save and quit. And with the Titansmiths in hand, probably also going to be checking out the darker side of Death Mountain here, while Skipsy is heading into Pendant Pod. Unfortunately, he has to pay the extortionist monkey $10 to even come with him, and then another 100 to open up the little palace here. Now, who42baker also finding out that Spectacle Rock will be hiding a sword for him. When you see your Master Sword on Spectacle Rock like this, and you have no sign of the mirror appearing anywhere, you get a little bit worried. But ooh, look at that! A lamp in the first chest and pod. Ooh, and we're getting a Spike Cave check from who42baker here. It is in logic, he has enough hearts, he has the magic, he has the Cane of Berna. Also of note is that we would have been bow locked in pod, but since we found the bow in the back of Escape super early on, that was never really a worry. Yeah, looks like the 3 bombs are making a comeback here in Spike Cave. There's an arrow upgrade for Skipsy. It's a little bit surprising to me to find all these items so early on in pod. Usually pod is all key, and nothing but keys in the first couple of chests. And all the good fancy stuff is in the back. Shout out to Dr. Dr. Bob. Alright, and who42baker also gonna be grabbing that ease of mind for now at least, that Turtle Rock will also not require bombos. And finds out that Turtle Rock is Ether as well, so as far as these guys are concerned, bombos, at least for now, not required. We're yet to find that fire rod, and if that fire rod doesn't show up anywhere, we might still have to do a very late Aga 1 to grab that bombos from the Lumberjack Cave. Looks like who42baker might have had something come up in real life or something. Do not be alarmed or worried. I'm sure he'll be back very soon. Oh, and Skipsy unfortunately falling down there. These little mini Helmosaurus, they can be such a chore. Alright, looks like who42baker is back. Gonna have to, gonna have to ask him in the post-game interview if that was intentional or if something came up. I'm assuming he didn't plan on stopping there for a minute or two. Grabs his Master Sword as well. That is a little weight off his chest. He knows that even if everything else fails, he will not necessarily require that last sword up on Spectacle Rock. Here's another key for Skipsy. All these pot keys have to show up at some point, so since he got a couple of items in the beginning already, I'm assuming there's going to be some more keys hidden here. who42baker grabbing his flips and the rest of Hookshot Cave. Alright, here's the big chest for Skipsy. There's a fire shield and a save and quit. Doesn't, actually, I don't think they meant to save and quit there. Probably thanks to the lack of mirror and not being able to quickly get back to the entrance. But unless I'm really stupid, which is always a possibility, I think Skipsy would have been able to clear pod. There's a... Alright, it's a pendant. And I guess they're gambling on the item on Helmosaur not being important, because as far as I'm aware, there is still an item left, right? If there's an item left, I'm always very weary of leaving, but, you know, I'm not playing, I'm just talking about stuff. And Skipsy heading right back over the Tower of Hera here. Gonna finish that up since it was fire locked earlier. We got our shovel, which led to the Titansmiths, as well as a small key, which lets us go to that basement. And of course, the basement will have to have the big key. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I'm gonna be really happy and really full of glee and schadenfreude when these guys pick up the fire out very soon and all your trolly predictions prove to be untrue, as they always are! Alright, looks like it's pot time for who42baker as well, so he's gonna be grabbing his lamp. Oh, and that was very unfortunate for Skipsy there. They managed to get stuck on the crystal switches there in the bottom, and unless you have a mirror or some way to activate the crystal switch again from that distance, which can be quite hard, the only choice you have is a save and quit, which we're seeing right there. Most annoying part about this is that when you don't have the mirror, you always have to take this super long way over to Tower of Hera. First you go to the right side, and you walk all the way up through the caves, and then you hammer down the packs and walk over the bridge to the left side. It's a pain in the bum. Alright, we're back. Back in Tower of Hera. Oh, and Skipsy had it this time, but decided to walk off the crystal switch just to make sure they don't get stuck again. And there finally is the big key for Skipsy. That's a good question, Psychic. I don't know. Maybe Skipsy feels like Tower of Hera is quicker to finish than having to walk all the way back out of the Dark Maze or Death Ward to the beginning of Pot and then make your way all the way to Helmosaur just for one item. Plus, you know, the green pendant gives you an extra chance for an item at Sahasrahla, and won't be the first time where we see that old man holding something that we really, really want to have. Oh, you have the hookshot in the boots, please don't. Okay, he made it over fine. There's our second item out of Tower of Hera, just a piece of heart. So now we're just gonna finish up Helmosaur, excuse me, Trolldorm, of course, to grab that green pendant. Oh boy, that was a pretty close corner there by Skipsy, but manages just fine. It keeps going with the pokes here. And there's a spin. Yep, there we go. That's what the pokes get you. A super pissed off Trolldorm who goes very fast. Okay, we're going for the slashes now. Should only be 3 spins or 3 hammer hits Fortunately, with the slashes here, we might get another quick phase. And there he is. Uh-oh. Oh, and he gets him down. Phew. Very nicely done. So here will be a compass and a green pendant. I'm going to go ahead and assume that Skipsy will check that green pendant right away. Just because, you know, you picked it up. There's a couple of other locations to go to, but might as well. Yep, he flutes right over to 5 and dashes up there to see what Sahasrara holds for us. What would open up a lot of stuff for us? I'm hoping for a mirror here. Okay, I guess we're not turning in the green pendant. Nope, never mind. We are turning in the green pendant. Oh man, it's the Cane of Samaria. That is absolutely 100% required for more than one thing. That means Skipsy is now able to finish up Meyer if he wants to, and he's thinking about it and decides for it. And could also potentially dip into Turtle Rock, though that will be a little more risky without a fire out. Meanwhile, it looks like who42baker has no intention of leaving Helmasaur King behind. Walks his way back through the Dark Maze and is going to go ahead and finish up Pendant Pod. There is only one item left here in Meyer. I'm not sure if Skipsy picked up the big key yet. I think he did by the way he's routing this. Or maybe not. Alright, so Skipsy's hoping that they don't have to go in those not very well liked torch rooms and waste a whole bunch of times. Oh, well, never mind. Don't have the big key yet. We do have to go into those torch rooms. Alright, who42baker managed to wait out the first wall that we're going to see move today. Making his way down into the dark basement that's not so dark anymore thanks to the lamp we got in the very first chest of pod. Pretty crazy. Still our only fire source so far. There's another small key for Skipsy, which means that the big key is in its vanilla location. So, while we just saw who42baker waiting for the Helmasaur King wall to move out of the way, we are in 1 second going to see Skipsy in the Meyer area waiting for another wall to move out of the way. Alright, who42baker now in the Helmasaur King fight. 17 hits with the hammer on that shiny blue mask. And after that, a single silver arrow to the dome, or the green crystal in his head, I guess. Almost gets the fireball cancel there. If you manage to knock off the Helmasaur King's mask right as he's about to spit out a fireball, you'll cancel the fireball. But still, no issues for him. One big silver arrow to the dome. Perhaps 300 bucks, so we now know that Skipsy didn't leave anything super important behind, as well as a blue pendant. That might be an important part though, as you people have pointed out a bunch of times. We might need all those pendants eventually. We might. So what this tells us on Skipsy's side is that the last item in Mire has to be either in that big chest where he's currently making their way, or it is indeed on Vitreous, which was Skipsy's first impulse to just go straight to the boss and hope that the last item is on there. But nope, it's in the big chest, it's 10 arrows, no progression found whatsoever in here. Just a free red goo and 10 arrows. So all this does is get us another crystal, which of course we're not unhappy about. Looks like who42baker here also making his way back to Tower of Hera now that he finally has a light source. I do hope he also decides to grab the green pendant off of Trolldorm, though seeing how he finished off Helmasaur, I think it's a pretty safe bet. Alright, Skipsy about to make his final ascent up to the Vitreous boss fight, just needs to get past the Firebar and an Anti-Fairy. And then with the silver arrows in hand, this boss is absolutely trivialized. And look at that. Stop talking for 15 seconds and Vitreous is already dead. Grabbing a sweet little map and our third crystal on Skipsy's side at least. Alright, it looks like who42baker still on the look for that last item, and as we were saying earlier, hopefully that green pendant. And it looks like Skipsy is thinking about that Turtle Rock tip. What else is open? What else can we still check out? Apparently, Skipsy still has an idea. Oh, are we doing Aga? Are we just gonna go ahead and do Aga? Yep, looks like it. Alright, Skipsy is saying, listen, I'm gonna need that Bombos medallion to get into that Ice Palace. I have everything else to get in there, so let's do Aga. We do have everything we need. We have a lamp, we have a Master Sword. We can definitely get in there. We can beat that guy up. With the silver arrows, as you can see, none of these guards stand even a single chance. Not even for a second. Yeah, I think this is this Aga play is a really good choice because I think Trantar was pointing it out earlier. I think other than the first chest in Turtle Rock, there's nothing really left that they can check. I mean, if the first chest in Turtle Rock on the left side has a small key, you could potentially go all the way to Laser Bridge. So, for all we know, this might also be a massive waste of time. We'll have to see. who42baker is now going to be turning in his green pendant and grabbing his Cane of Samaria. And I'm really curious to see if he decides to take that trip into Turtle Rock. And if we do indeed find a small key in that first chest, or even crazier, the fire rod in that first chest, then everything that Skipsy is doing right now is about 6 minutes or so, I believe, of wasted time. There's the Cane of Samaria. And we're fluting away. Where are we fluting? Are we finishing up Mire as well? I'm thinking about it. Nope. We are going to Village of Outcasts. Are we going to do the blacksmith route? That's another thing that's open. We can save and quit with a blacksmith, and we can save and quit with the purple chest if we want to. Which is also, you know, another 2 item locations that might make this Aga 1 play that Skipsy is doing right now absolutely useless. Alright, here we go. Picking up the little frog. Walking over there and then realizing... Oh no, he's still checking the hammer packs. Okay, that makes sense. I forgot that only Skipsy has checked those so far. Now, Skipsy currently fighting Aga 1. A lot less stressful than the second Aga fight since there's only one of them. But that does mean he'll spare you from any more of those blue balls. Now, 42baker grabbing his half magic. Gonna be happy about that, I'm assuming. Nobody's ever unhappy about finding half magic. Alright, little dwarf. What you got for us while Skipsy is still holding out against Aga here? Not having the greatest of luck. Nope, just a big red here, so... Let's see what who42baker decides to do now. Yep, he also decides to finish up Mire and hope for the progression that he wants in there, which unfortunately we do know it is not. Meanwhile, Skipsy now on their way to pick up that Bombos medallion that we saw an hour and 5-ish minutes ago on that Lumberjack cave, or on that ledge in the Lumberjack cave, which will then also immediately make him go into Ice Palace, of course. This is the only reason that he's even done all this whole Aga play. And if he does indeed manage to pull out the Fire Rod from Ice Palace, then we know that this play was absolute genius. There is the Bombos medallion and also our last medallion. Alright, and off to Ice Palace we go here on Skipsy's side. Jumping right in, having a little dip, picking up a big rock, stepping into a portal, and then we're gonna have to explode a whole bunch of people. Well, I don't know if I'd call Freezors people. They kind of look like people, but they're made of ice. Yeah, mirror and purple chest is absolutely still a possibility. Fire Rod and purple chest is as well a possibility. What else could we have in there? I think that's pretty much it. Found everything else. I guess there could be a mirror or a book in there, a mushroom or a book in there that leads to something crazy. Okay, here comes our first Ice Palace chest. 3 potential items in here. That's our first one. It's a blue rupee, so not the fire rod you were looking for. Meanwhile, who42baker is finally going to be picking up his big key here. Probably also going to be checking out that big chest for the 10 arrows. Might just, you know, go straight to the... Oh, doesn't. I was just going to say, might just go straight for the boss and hope for Vitreous having that item. But nope, wants to be thorough. Don't blame him. Wouldn't want to, you know, make it through that visitor room at the start again just to find out that all you're getting is 10 arrows. Oh no, who42baker needs to unfortunately reset the room here. A little too slow for the falling bridge. Skipsy here setting up for the Ice Palace bomb jump. If you plan on full clearing it, might actually be faster to not bomb jump, but it's still not awful, and it's also just a muscle memory thing, I'm willing to bet. Gonna powder a little bunny beam under that skull to get a free fairy. And off we go to the dark rooms of Mire and eventually Vitreous, which should be equally fast for who42baker with those silver arrows. Skipsy meanwhile continuing their way through Ice Palace. And yeah, we'll have to see what comes up in here. I mean, there's not too many more items that we actually need to finish everything. And if it's not in here, then I think first chest in Turtle Rock and the purple chest, at least with the equipment that we have right now, is really all that's left after Ice Palace as far as I'm aware. There's the big key for Ice Palace, so it's keeping it exciting. There's the compass. All the good items hiding in the bag. All we found so far is a blue rupee. Oh man, I just missed the chest that Skipsy opened, but it wasn't the fire rod, so... Here we go, Vitreous, the only boss, except for Ganon, of course, that requires more than one silver arrow to kill, if you can hurt them with the silver arrows. Ooh, there's a small key, so if you found a heart in the chest, that means there's one item left in Ice Palace, which now can only be on Cold Stare. So, if Cold Stare drops the fire rod, I don't even know. Alright, let's see what who42baker now decides after finishing up Mire. He also realizes, well, there's really not that much stuff left to check. It has to be a... Oh, yeah, Iced Tea, never mind. It could be a small key on Cold Stare, if Iced Tea has the item. All these rappers always stealing our items. Nope, it's a map. Our last item is on Cold Stare. And it looks like who42baker has the same idea that we saw earlier. Gonna be going down here and grabbing that purple chest. Another save and quit required to bring that back, but with the flute, not too much of a time loss. And this is where it matters. It's got to be this purple chest or whatever we find on Cold Stare. Right, I'm confused. He didn't ever do this freezer room. Oh, there's the item. Okay, ice is empty. Please do not. Oh no, never mind. Isis pendant. Oh man, and the purple chest also only has a bunch of rupees. Leaving that Ice Palace pendant behind, as well as that pod pendant from earlier, might come back to haunt Skipsy if this continues on like this. It looks like Skipsy now saying, alright, listen, I've tried everything I can. I'm gonna go check Spike Cave since he hasn't checked that yet. But I'm assuming who42baker is going straight to that Turtle Rock. Man, I can already see this. This is gonna be crazy. We're gonna get a small key from the first chest in Turtle Rock, and we're gonna make it all the way to Laser Bridge, and it's gonna be some super convoluted, crazy fetch quest shenanigans. We're gonna get like the mushroom and the book, or the mushroom will lead to the book, which will lead to some other crazy stuff. There you go, opening up that old Turtle Rock, just as Skipsy is about to head to the east side of Death Mountain as well, so I'm assuming these guys are having the exact same idea. Here we are. Let's see what that first chest holds for us. And it is a small key, so we can continue even without the fire rod. Oh man, and not being able to fire out these pokies, especially with a Master Sword, extremely annoying. And so are these chain chums. We are at least in red mail, so they're not as dangerous as they could be, but they're still not very friendly fellows here. Alright, and another key. We continue our long trip through this wonderful dungeon. Skipsy isn't too far behind here, considering when they both enter Turtle Rock. The thing that could really spell disaster for Skipsy is if Pedestal is indeed required. And I guess we're gonna find that out here now, or in this dungeon at the very least. Alright, there we go. Checking the vanilla big key chest. Don't want to skip out on that if you're still looking for items. And it's the mirror! Alright, we got the mirror. So that immediately opens up a ton of new item locations where that fire rod could be. Which in return means Skipsy might have just wasted a whole bunch of time doing AGA 1 for no reason. Man, these guys without the fire rod are so annoying. And there's the mirror for Skipsy as well. Skipsy decides, hey, listen. Nope, never mind. Does not decide, hey, listen, we're done here. Or does he? Nope. Continues on as well. Very nicely done. Glad that we see both of the runners have the awareness here that they can, at the very least, still check out the Mimic Cave. And then we're gonna have to come back here with a fire rod in hand because the big key is on the right side. Just a piece of heart here in the Mimic Cave, which means who42baker gonna get his flute out immediately. Do-do-do-do-do! Called a little ducky. Or accidentally step into his mirror portal. Alright, who42baker. Which mirror spots do you want to check first? And looks to me like the mirror spots that he wants to check first are in Swamp Palace, which, of course, you know, 6 potential items. Opens up Pyramid Fairy as well, that's another 2 items, so that makes 8. And we need the crystal anyway, so I think that is quite possibly the best choice that he can make right now. Oh, and we're getting a quick K45 check here. I like this. You know, it's not too far away. And who knows, if the fire rod's in here, it's going to make all the difference. Just another heart piece. Back to Swamp Hole as we go. Oh, and Skipsy decides his first trip will be into Desert Palace. I don't think that's a bad choice either. I quite like the opening up the Pyramid Fairy bit that comes with finishing up Swamp Palace. But yeah, I think Desert is just as viable. Okay. Here's $100 for Skipsy with a half heart here in Desert Palace. Needs to be a little bit careful not to get hit by these cannonballs, but no big O. Grabs a big key, while the who42baker grabs a full heart container out of the first chest here in Swamp, so that fire rod still at large. Alright. Skipsy now in the back of Desert Palace. I'm curious to see if who42baker decides to do the full clear and go left side immediately, or do the back of Swamp Palace first, and then come back in for the left side if he feels like, or if he knows that there's an item or 2 left. So far he's been picking up quite a bunch of items. He's got a heart and a red rupee already, so that means there's only 4 items left. And by the looks of it, He figures I might have better luck just going straight to the end. If he picks up the fire on it along the way somewhere here, he'll be so in go mode. I can't even imagine. Meanwhile, Skipsy here playing with his life, down to 1 heart. Shouldn't be a huge problem, yet gets those silver arrows into the land modes. And there's the fire rod! We are officially in go mode at 1 hour 30 minutes for Skipsy. So this is quite the interesting development. Because now Skipsy can go mode swamp. He can pretty quickly clear out Turtle Rock. While who42baker might be a little, you know, whatchamacallit. He might be a little tempted to go back into swamp and check out that left side, which we now know won't hold the fire rod that he's looking for. I guess Skipsy really wants that tempered sword as well as finish off Turtle Rock. Yeah, that's really all I can say to that. And there, who42baker showing us exactly why Skipsy is grabbing that tempered sword. You don't want to fight Argus with a master sword. Every puff taking 2 slashes just makes this fight longer and more annoying. And it really only costs him maybe a minute to grab that tempered sword. And at least half of the time will be saved fighting Argus. So, yeah, I like it. Oh, and Baker having a little trouble here with his silver arrows. Decides to go for slashes instead. Or spins, rather. Right, there we go. So, Pyramid Fairy now open for who42baker, as well as the big chest and the left side of Swamp. Unless he immediately decides, nope, I'm leaving all of this behind. I'm just going to Desert Palace because why not? He's gonna be having a little bit of trouble keeping up here. And we are getting a little bit of a sync here at the 1 hour 33 minute mark. At least for a little while. Skipsy still needs to open that locked door and make the chest appear first, but here we go. And as we can see, Skipsy just, you know, straight to the end. Doesn't have to stop for anything or anyone. Doesn't want any other items. Has silver arrows. Has a tempered sword. Has a red mail. Has plenty of hearts. Has a free red goose still left and have magic. Could not possibly be better prepared for Ganon. I suppose he could still find the cape somewhere, which is always nice to have, but at this point... Now, the thing here for who42baker is, let's first hope that he does not find the book on the left side of Swamp, because that would be very bad, and then hope that he decides that Desert should be his next play, because if he goes anywhere else and ends up finding the book God knows where, or the mushroom, he's gonna be misled or led away from that fire rod even further. Alright, let's see what the left side of Swamp holds for us. We already know can't be anything that we need. There's a compass, so one more item. Just an arrow upgrade. Oh boy, and it looks like who42baker is saying, alright, I just unlocked the Pyramid Fairy, so I might as well check her out. All these item locations just opening him up to being trolled some more if he finds anything that leads him away further from that landmo fight that he needs to finish. He also didn't kill Agawon, unlike Skipsy, so he can't even take the shortcut for the big bomb. Putting his hookshot to good use, which makes it a little faster. Right, that's crystal number 5 for Skipsy, who seems to be heading right into Skull Woods right now. To finish that up, we already pretty much cleared that out earlier, so that's just going to be a straight shot to the back. And there's the cape, and our 4th sword that we were talking about earlier. That's actually a pretty nice Pyramid Fairy. Sadly for who42baker, that is not what he was looking for. Very nice. Looks like who42baker is going into that Desert Palace. Alright, Skipsy firing up that fire on, clearing out that entrance to the back of Skullwoods, and immediately dashing to the back. Looks like he's quite well versed in this Gibdo room here with the torches. Just fires off 2 fire out shots at the beginning and then dashes right through and no problem at all. Gonna have to kill that Gibdo here to grab the key. And here comes everyone's favorite boss, Mothula. With a tempered sword, officially only 4 slashes needed, but good luck getting that guy off the spikes. Very nicely done by Skipsy though. Picking up their second to last crystal, so we are, it's almost time, guys. It's almost time. We only need to finish up the dreaded Turtle Rock. Alright, who42baker making his way into the back of Desert Palace, going to be finishing up Land Molas, and then grabbing his fire out finally. I'm not sure if he even has anything else left to check at this point other than Land Molas. And considering what a wild goose chase the seed put these guys through, it's still at a very respectable time. I'd say they both still have a very big chance of finishing this in sub 2 hours. Maybe a little bit over for who42baker, depending on how quickly he can get the rest of the seed done. But still an extremely respectable time, especially considering how crazy this turned out to be. Alright, and we're back into Turtle Rock for Skipsy here. Gonna be grabbing that big key and probably another small key from the right side. And there's that fire rod for who42baker. And his 5th crystal. There's the big key for Turtle Rock and a compass. Okay, fair enough. Still gets us where we need to go. We already opened up a whole bunch of stuff from our little visit earlier. And we're heading off to Skull Woods for who42baker. He also cleared pretty much everything out already earlier, as did Skipsy, so it's just going to be a walk to the back as well. Skipsy going through here as quickly as I possibly can. We've pretty much checked everything out already. The thing is, we unfortunately can't quite take the shortcut here because, well, you don't want to risk leaving a small key behind in the big chest. Just as I say that, being proven wrong immediately, and then being proven right as I correct myself. Please, Skipsy, stop playing with my heart. Alright, here we go, and a good choice not to skip that big chest. He would have been stuck on a locked door. And there's another small key here, so if you gambled on that big chest not having a small key, would have gone even further and then get stuck, which would have been even worse. The one upside to a Gomo Turtle Rock is that you can skip all of Laser Bridge. And since these guys are pretty well equipped, Silver's already found a good sword in hand. I'd be very surprised to see anyone go to Laser Bridge. Yep, Skipsy just muscle memorying his way into the Laser Bridge room and then realizing, wait, I can just skip all this. I have a key and I have everything I need to kill Trinex. Let's just go. Very nice Mario dash there, pretty fancy. who42 might pick up butter on his way back to Turtle Rock, maybe. It probably wouldn't be a massive time loss, though I don't think the time save from Tempered over butter is enough to make him go there. Very quick and nice Mothula fight, picking up his second to last crystal, and Skipsy finishing up Turtle Rock here, just gotta slash the big snake that somehow comes out of the turtle. And with Trinex exploding and dropping a map, that is the last crystalline. You guys know what that means. That means we're on our way to Ganon's Tower, and when we're on our way to Ganon's Tower, we guess where that big key location is. And as you can hear me hammering on my key, I'm not letting any one of you steal my number, Spiffers, especially not you. 8 is mine, will always be, has always been. And Skipsy now spin dashing over to Ganon's Tower. There we go, opening up Ganon's Tower, waiting for those stairs to appear, and we're walking in. And as soon as this good man opens up his first chest, I was going to say, but our tracker was a little bit fast on the trigger. Didn't remember the delay for the stream. Tisk tisk. And it looks like we're immediately going left side, not even checking the first 2 chests on the right side here, going the very standard route. So Torch was number 1. This is number 2. And we see who42 picking up his butter sword indeed. Alright, so the first 5 had absolutely nothing. And looks like, nope, we're continuing on the left side. As number 6, only a piece of heart. Number 7, also a small key. And we're coming up on the random room here. Well, who42 is now in the fire rod part of Turtle Rock, going to be grabbing his big key and sadly also the compass, but you know, what you're gonna do. Number 8. Number 9 is a piece of heart. Number 10. Alright, so chest number 10 in the rando room had our big key, which means that left side play was actually the right decision. And congrats to second 82. Winning our guessing game here. Making, I think, his first impact on the leaderboard. Oh, an interesting Cane of Burn a dash through the cannonball room here. That's not something I've seen before, but I quite like it. Alright, Skipsy now coming up on the more annoying rooms here in Ganon's Tower, the whole gauntlet with BMOs everywhere. and conveyor belts everywhere. And then just because it wasn't annoying enough already, we're also going to be adding some ice floors. There we go, with powder in hand. I would assume Skipsy is going to go ahead and make good use of that ferry here. Yep, there we go. Which means all 3 land mode 2 land molars will spawn at roughly the same time, which makes it pretty convenient for sword spins. Sadly, not so convenient for the several arrow strats that Skipsy is going for here, but still very nicely done. All 3 down. And off we go to the Wizro brooms. Oh, unfortunately misses that first Wizrobe just by a hair. But still, very nicely done. Still has plenty of magic to finish off the torch room here. There's a full magic refill right around the corner. And who42baker showing us how quick Trinix is with a butter sword. Finishes him up immediately, no problems at all. Grabs his map, grabs his last crystal, and will also be on his way over to Ganon's tower shortly. Probably cursing the little fanfare right now, wanting it to go a little bit faster. Skipsy in the meantime just skipping over all these chests. Doesn't really want or need anything anymore. Just wants to get to Aga 2 as fast as possible and then finish up that Ganon. Nice little health refill and magic refill, so he's topped up as much as he can be. Looking good for Skipsy here. Of course, I curse him and he immediately gets knocked down by Trolldorm too. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what who42 decides to do here, because, you know, I think the first 2 chests on the right side and then going left side has kind of started being a little bit more of a standard thing in recent times, or in maybe not so recent times. It's been quite a thing for a while, and yeah, as we see, who42baker decides going right side first is the play. Grabs a mirror shield and some bombs, so at least he's not forced to go in further right. And there's our mushroom, look at that. The last chest in the game has our mushroom. Now, you gotta turn it in now, right? If you find it there, you have to turn it in, that's the rule. Right, here we go, Aga 2 fight. Let's see how the setups are looking. This first one isn't too great. Manages to get one of them in, almost a double if you hit the last one. This one looks a tiny bit better. Oh, just a single and a blue ball. Ugh. And another single there. I think that was hit number 4. Oh, this looks good for a double at least. There's 1. There's 2, and there we go. 6 hits on Aga 2 done. Skipsy just waiting for that little weird pig ghost to turn into a bat and fly away. There he goes. And there's the swag duck picking us up to head to our last fight. Alright, so Skipsy entering their Ganon fight at 1 hour 54 and 50 seconds. Oh, don't talk about food, man. I'm hungry, Ganon. Get some nice spins in here to start, and now we're back to the slashing. Unfortunately, yeah, that looks pretty good to me. This is also a pretty convenient spot for Ganon to stop. Employing the use of the hookshot iframes to get some more slashes in. I think that might have been a pretty good cycle there. Oh, unfortunately not quite. There's the Ganon Star big key for who42. We're down to 2 hearts. Skipsy is gonna have to use that red potion that he got very, very early on in the game and has kept through it all. Ooh man, gets really bullied by those fire bats and misses 2 hits again. Let's see. There we go. First hit in. Ooh, there's another fire bat hit. He's already down to 5 hearts. Alright, here we go. Last phase of Ganon is starting. Yes, we did indeed find the silver arrows, my good friend. Looks like we got a nice little torch glitch going on here. Ooh, oh no! Oh my god, Skipsy takes a fall! And he's down to 3 hearts and no more potions. Oh man, this could change a lot, maybe. who42 making his way through the gauntlet while Skipsy has to restart that Ganon fight. Probably gonna grab that fairy from the tree here to refill at least a little bit. Oh god, what is that fairy doing? There we go. Whew. I think Skipsy still has enough of a lead to pull this out, but if... Ooh, man. That's gotta feel bad. Falling down there. Whew. Oh man, but who42 here realizes, okay, I do have a red potion and a fairy. Ooh, and Skipsy immediately taking a Ganon hug there, unfortunately a little bit too aggressive. Yep, decides to use the Cane of Burner here just to be safe. Gonna add a whole butt ton of lag, but still beats dying horribly. There we go, phase number 3 initiated, and looks a lot better than it did the first time already. He's got plenty of hearts left. There's no weird circling fire bats constantly bugging him. This should be the one. Alright, so as who42 kills Land Mode 2, Skipsy gets into the last phase of the first Ganon fight. Gets the torch glitch again, so no worries about the magic. Ooh, please be careful with that, Skipsy. There we go. First arrow in the face of the pick. Oh no, gets a hit because the torch went out. Oh, Jesus. Just making it as exciting as possible, but... Oh, that was almost a triple. There we go, that should be the last one. Phew, okay. Skipsy has done it. Holding up the sword here at 1 hour 58, and there we go. Unfortunately, I am not on the SRTV channel, so I can't tell you guys the official time, but according to his timer, he finished at around 1 hour 58 and 59, so almost not a sub 2, but pulls it out. And especially considering that he did a completely unnecessary Aga 1, that's got to feel really good. And with that said, we've already got Skipsy in the waiting room, so let me get him in for the post-game interview. Hey Skipsy, GG, and congrats on your win.
Hey. Oh my gosh, thank you.
How are you feeling about that? Had a little bit troll there with the Ganon fight?
Yes, not only that, like, there were trolls all around the seat, like, my heart stopped everywhere.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can absolutely imagine.
Like,
the seed, it
what
was quite
gambles
special.
do you do? Like,
Yeah,
it was crazy.
If you're wondering, I'd say you guys were pretty neck and neck for the most part of the seed, because it it was kind of railroaded with how trolly and weird the items it gave you it was.
Yeah, it's such seeds where you get everything from the start, it just fans out. You don't know what to do.
And
especially the turtle rock thing, like
yeah.
if I thought I thought I was totally behind. Did you see what happened in Tower of Hera?
What do you mean? Where you got stuck on the
Yes.
pegs and had to save and quit? Yes, we saw
Yes.
that, unfortunately.
It was horrible.
Yes,
That
yes, it
never
was.
happened before. I was totally confused, and at that moment, I thought I was like way behind, and I felt that I needed to make some gambles to make it worth, like Aghanim.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if my opponent did that as well, right?
He did not. That was the real big divergence part. You went to do Aghanim, and who42 decided, nope, I'm not doing Aghanim. There's got to be some other way. It's got to be somewhere else. He started doing blacksmith and all that stuff. And what really made the difference is after you both found the mirror, who42 immediately went to swamp, and you went straight to desert. And
I wanted to
you
go
won.
to swamp, but I got the wrong warp.
Well, thank the fate or God or whoever you want to thank for that, because that won you the game.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, he full cleared the swamp. He even went back in for the left side because, of course, he had no idea. And after that, swamp finishing Swamp Palace also opened up the Pyramid Fairy, so he checked that as well, which had the cape and another sword upgrade. So he spent a lot of time doing all that before he finally got his fire rod, and then he did catch up a little bit, and that fall on Ganon that you had really made it kind of exciting there at the end, but your lead was pretty solid, so, you know, it all went well, and you pulled off the win.
Oh wow. It's such a tiny thing that makes the difference, it's crazy.
Yeah, especially if you say that you got the wrong spot, that you didn't even mean to go to Desert Palace.
Yeah, I was teleporting right down to the Swamp Palace, right? And you need to go to Link's house first, and then teleport, and then mirror. Yeah, that's why you need mirror, etc. And for some reason in my brain, I was like totally nervous because of all the mistakes that have happened. That I was so far behind, and it was messing with my brain. So I was like, just go straight to Swamp Palace. Oh wait, this is not how it works.
Yeah, but turned out well for you. And in the meantime, your opponent also finishing up GG to who42, of course, as well. Played extremely well as well, especially considering the seed. It was something special.
GG. who42baker.
Yep, he finished up with an SRTV time of 1:58.57. It seems like, and no, wait, that's not right. That's your your SRTV time. 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 47 seconds. So you guys were not too far apart.
That was really close. To be honest, the moment I fell at Ganon, I thought it was over. Like, GG. We had to
I can
be
imagine. It was extremely close. Oh, there we go. Your opponent is also here, so let me drag him in, and then you guys can talk about what a crazy seed you just played. Hey there, who42, GG.
Hey, GG's. GG to Skipsy. Congrats, man.
GG to you as well.
Yeah, what are we already talked to Skipsy for a little bit, but what are your thoughts on the seed here?
Well, it was kind of annoying. Fire Rod, last place I checked. I got worried that it could be on pedestal. It logically could have been there if you had gone to get Bombos from the Lumberjack. So I got kind of worried.
Which your opponent did to get into Ice Palace.
Yes,
oh, man.
I did Aghanim and went to Ice Palace.
What decided the race, I want to say, or what made the big difference is that after you both got the mirror, Skipsy immediately went to Desert Palace, and you went to Swamp, and, well, you know how that turned out.
Yeah. Full clear versus a Yeah, what's called Go Mode Swamp is quite large.
And that really kind of, solidified the lead, or put him in the lead, I would say.
Yeah, that'll do it, I say.
But you both played remarkably well, and considering what the seed gave you, like it started out super friendly and gave you a lot of stuff, but then it kind of kept all the really important items that you needed to itself. Started out with a weird Cane of Samaria from Green Pendant Tower of Hera that was firelocked the first time you got there, but you still had to double dip it because the shovel, which led to Titansmiths, was in the basement. And
oh yeah, I remember that. That was crazy. Like, when does ever quest items lead you something, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't even know why I went to Tower of Hera when I did. I had like the choice between there and Meyer because I just got the lamp, which was annoying. First chest in pod.
Yeah, that was quite interesting as well. I was saying this pod was one of the very few pods that didn't just have like 5 keys in the first 5 chests.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a pendant, and I think that was the only thing of use in it. So I think I could have noped out of there. Just after the lamp.
Yeah, I checked a lot of stuff in there too.
Yeah, I think Skipsy only left Helmasaur King after checking the big chest, probably, chancing it that the item on Helmasaur wasn't too important, as opposed to having to walk all the way back to the beginning and then all the way down, blah, blah, blah.
I felt so bad doing that. Like, when you leave one item behind, you always feel bad. It's always in the back of your mind, what could it be? What could it be? What if it's something important? What if it disturbs your whole gameplay now?
Yeah, it never feels good, especially with how late you guys really got that fire on.
Yeah, I was thinking I could have... As soon as I got to Swamp Palace, I was thinking Desert unlocked itself when I got the mirror. All I was thinking was, oh, mirror unlocks Swamp, mirror unlocks Swamp, let's go there. And I was walking into Swamp Palace, and I'm thinking, Desert Palace is a 5-minute dungeon.
Yeah, I know that feeling all too well.
This is 10 minutes, and it's like, I'm committed now. I can't go back. And then I had to go back in. It had nothing. So by the time I was heading up to Gannis Tower, or actually to Turtle Rock, I was like, all right, I'm probably behind at this point. I've had to take a couple breaks, and this isn't working out, so I'm going to get Gold Sword. I saw it up there. I'm going to grab it.
Yeah. You were, of course, since you full cleared Swamp and then that unlocked the Pyramid Fair, you were also the only one with the 4th sword and the cape.
Okay, so those... Oh, right, yeah, Tempered was in there. Okay. The cape didn't actually come into play, though, so...
Yeah, not really, that's true.
It was such a weird thing for me to route the 3rd sword, and like, I felt like I've been 8 times to Death Mountain. Like, the backtrack from Hera, then getting the sword again, and then 3 times, like, checking everything in Death Mountain. It was really weird.
Yeah, the seed wanted us to go there way too often. It was crazy.
Yeah, it sure did.
You have to go up there to get the shovel, then come down the mountain to get your Titansmiths, go back up to dip into Turtle Rock to get your mirror, so that you can go back down the mountain to get your fire rods, so you can go back up the mountain to get the green pendant, to go back down the mountain to get Samaria, to go back up the mountain to clear out Turtle Rock. It's like, seed, please.
This seed, yeah, I mean...
I'm tired. I don't want to walk anymore.
Too much mountain climbing.
But we got the boots early, which was beautiful.
Yeah, that was insane. I was so happy. I opened that chest and it's just like, I'm flying through this escape sequence. It was great.
Yeah, boots in the first chest that you ever open in the sea, that's a really good feeling. All right, Skipsy had a collection rate of 153. We're just waiting for your stats here to show up on our stream, which will probably be a little bit delayed from what you're already seeing. Well, unfortunately, that means your third loss for you, who42. Probably means you're out of the tournament unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. Because I know if there's been enough drops, some of the 4 and 3s are gonna get in.
Mm-hmm.
I do not expect to get in. I'm just here to have fun. I got the 2 wins I was going for, and so I'm having fun. So
awesome! I'm very glad to hear that. It's all about fun, and it's always a little sad when people are like really upset or something about their loss. You know, it never feels good to lose. I won't deny that, but it's all for fun, and as long as you're having fun playing, that's what counts.
It was fun, definitely. Like, you will never play the seed again, right?
Yeah. Could just hope for another boots first chest
Yes.
somewhere. Eventually.
All right, looks like you've collected exactly 10 items more than Skipsy did. One of them being the butter sword and the mirror shield, because Skipsy never went to the right side in GT either.
Okay, so that means I was exactly behind that Swamp Palace and Pyramid Fairy. Because that's 6 and 8, and then the 2 items, the mirror shield and the butter sword.
Exactly. That's really that's what made the main difference. You switched leads back and forth a little bit all the way through until that mirror, and after that everything went crazy.
I'm excited to see the VOD.
I am too. If it's changing leads like that, it should be a great watch. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you can deal with just me blabbering over it for 2 hours.
I'm sure it'll be great.
For blabbering.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, I of course wish you the best of luck in the rest of the tournament. I hope you guys still have fun. You're of course free to finish all 7 games, despite maybe not getting into the brackets, and I hope you will. And good. That's always good to hear. And thank you very much for letting us restream you and for putting on a great match. It was really exciting, and I hope you have fun watching the WoW back. Do you guys have any last words you want to give out? Any shout outs or anything before I take us out?
Just GG to everyone, and thank you Speed Gaming, and thank you Harvey, and thanks for the trackers, and yeah. And thanks for restreaming.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who had a part in this tournament. It's great fun. I'm enjoying myself, so it's good.
And of course, also thank you from me to Fiesel and the Speed Gaming Network for all the restreams that they're putting on, and thanks to Michael K for keeping track of all the crazy items you found or didn't find for a very long time, I guess. And you guys should stick around. There is plenty more rando to come on all Speed Gaming channels, and probably a couple on the Link to the Past Randomizer channels as well. So please make sure to follow Speed Gaming 1 through 6 as well as ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4, and check out our schedule. We're gonna have more crazy rando for you, and I hope you guys could bear with me for 2 hours, and I hope you had fun. And I'll be seeing you very soon. Have a great night.